Don't miss your chance to win big every week on The Zone. This week on Win Ticket Wednesday, win a 4-pack of tickets to Wings and Wheels. Wings and Wheels is Spanish Fork's premier aviation and automotive event, September 27th at the Spanish Fork Airport. Don't miss vintage warbirds, classic cars, exotic sports vehicles, and thrilling aerial performances. Listen to The Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. DJ PK, and here comes Frank Dolce, the former Ute quarterback. Frank, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm not sure I realized there was a Spanish Fork airport.
Live and learn. Join DJ and PK. One factoid a day.
You're not going to be flying an airplane, are you?
No. That's got disaster written all over it, Frank. I think you know me well enough to know that should not be happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Agreed.
How worked up are you for this game, Frank? Scale of 1 to 10, where's the emotion sit for the alumni? How pumped up are you?
12, 15. Well, this should be an interesting weekend, and I think what will be the first real test of coming out of the first 3 weeks. Obviously I don't have as many concerns on the defensive side, although I think there's still improvement to be made. But I am curious about how, after 3 weeks, how teams will manage Utah offensively.
From their defensive perspective, you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I think we know what Utah wants to do, and so I'm curious if Utah has done enough to. Like, what kind of concerns you would have as a defense going against this Utah offense, or if there's still, stuff that we haven't seen in the Utah playbook. Although I think they've been really creative and have utilized a lot of different talent in different positions. I still feel like if I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm looking at Utah's offense over the first 3 weeks, I think I would try to make this is not groundbreaking news, but I think I would just try to make Utah one-dimensional and then see if Utah could beat you with that one element of their offense. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's pretty simple. Just to utilize all your resources. This has always been. I mean, this has been a long time game plan. Utilize all your resources to take away the run, and then just say, hey, if you can beat us throwing the ball, then we're going to take that chance.
I think the thing that has impressed me most about Utah's offense is not that they've done a whole lot that I haven't been expecting, because I think I've been expecting it because I watched Devin Dampier play half of his season, literally watched his games last year with New Mexico. And the thing that really, really impresses me, this team is going to be awfully difficult to stop in third and fourth and short, because he can do about 100 different things to get the 1 or 2 or 3 yards that you need to get to keep those drives going. And analytics say what they say as far as you should go when you're in this situation, third and fourth and short at this point in the field. And we saw the freshman struggle in his first real attempts to make field goals when, in his mind, the game was on the line in the first half. Down in the Rose Bowl, I mean, the game was over. It was over early. It was like just taking practice. Well, we all knew that they were going to beat Wyoming, but you could see that there was some pressure, maybe self-induced, and it didn't work. So with that in mind, you have to question, and the kid is just Curtis. I'm speaking of, the kicker is just a freshman, so you would think that Kyle would be more apt to go for it. So in order to have any success against Utah's offense, you must be good on first and second down. And if you're not, they're just going to eat you up, because he can do so many things to get that first down on third and short. And I've been very impressed. Their third down conversion rate is off the charts, and I think it's namely because of the offensive line and Dampier.
Utah's offense has that's always been a key factor for success is to be in a very reasonable third down situation. And I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Whittingham takes a few more chances on fourth down if the opportunity arises.
I think he will.
And I think you're right. Like with what Dampier does and with the tight end usage over the first several weeks and with the running back success, I think it's really difficult. That's a difficult proposition for a defense because they can do a lot of different things and get Dampier out in space and the run pass option, and you can put a defense on its heels. So I don't disagree with you at all. It's just that's the thing is Utah going to find themselves in third and really manageable situations throughout the game. And when they're in those situations, then can they convert? I think this is like, there's no question this will be the first real test of that offense. And I think the passing game, that's my concern is the passing game developed enough where a defense can't load up the box with 8 or 9 people and just and then you're first and 10, then you're 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 8, and then you're 3rd and 6. And 3rd and 6 I think that makes for a challenging proposition for this Utah offense.
It seems watching these first 3 games, admittedly against overmatched competition, that defenses have been making mistakes, and Devin Dampier has had a lot of throws in the 5 to 10, maybe 12 yards, but not much further than that downfield. Certainly not 20 yards downfield. But he's had a lot of throws to guys who are wide open. And I don't know how much of that is the offense, how much of that is the players, how much of that is the other defenses, guys blow assignments and get lost. And I asked that, and Kyle went into the answer about it at the press conference, and he was talking about how yes, there's a lot of that because of the way the offense is designed, but he said it was more than that. He said that defenders literally can't do it right. He said if they play run, then it's pass and they get beat, and if they play pass, then it's run and they get beat. And so it makes me think, well, the real key to this is getting a quarterback who, can process all of this. You got to be able to think quickly, right, and recognize the right keys. And he's been in the system for a year, so he's had a lot. He's way ahead of the game versus all the other quarterbacks who are there who are learning how to do this. But I just wonder if that'll continue against better competition, and I wonder if you can see what those things are. Where are these defenders getting put in a spot where they can't do it right?
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that. And Coach Beck does a nice job of creating difficulty on the defensive side with the option for the quarterback. And if you have a quarterback, like you said, who understands it and reads it well, then defense finds itself on its heels. I think I agree with all of that, and I think the play calling has demonstrated that. The issue then becomes if the read is not run. If the read becomes throw the ball downfield, is Dampier able to complete passes when defensive coverage is going to just be better than it has been in the first several weeks? And I said this earlier. I think Dampier is efficient throwing the football. I don't think he's a classic thrower of the football. And so I think that is the question that needs to be answered. Is there enough in the passing game to keep a defense honest? I lean towards yes is the answer. Like that even though he's not going to be he's like not an Aaron Rodgers thrower of the football, that he has more than enough talent to make those plays. But he's also demonstrated in the first few weeks that open receivers or throwing the ball downfield. Maybe accuracy has been a little bit of an issue.
I'm also highly intrigued on Texas Tech's offense versus Utah's defense. Utah's defense has been awesome, but the competition has been weak. There's no question about it. And we got all excited in that first game. And you grew up there, and I worked there to see that program. UCLA, I'm talking of, that's just suck is just to this level. It's just incredible, but nevertheless, that's where they're at. And you look at Texas Tech, man, they are second in the NCAA right now, averaging 602.7 yards a game. I mean, that's just staggering. I was going to say Majerus because he's a defensive guy too, but so is Whittingham. I mean, Kyle would just have a coronary if his defense got anywhere near allowing that, and certainly they won't. But I'm just wondering, how legit is this Texas Tech offense? They spend billions of dollars basically constructing it, and here we go. And I've been to many places in Texas over the years through work, but I've never been to Lubbock. But we had a producer who served a mission there, so he told us all about it. This is the biggest thing that they've got. And this team here is built to win now. And so the defense versus the Texas Tech offense is just as intriguing. I don't think it'll have 600 yards, but what level of success does it have? That's the question.
Well, if Utah gives up 600 yards, I don't think they come out in that scenario. But it is a test. It's a test to see if the Texas Tech offense is legit. It's a test to see if Utah's defense is legit. Like who wins that battle. The key for Utah is it's just like it's the same thing Texas Tech is facing on the defensive side. Texas Tech defensively is going to have to be good on first down, really good on first down, good on second down, and force Utah into third in difficult situations. Same thing for Utah defensively. I mean, you have to make Texas Tech play behind the chains and make calls in later downs that they're not comfortable making, like they don't want to make. Every offense wants to be in third and short. Every offense wants to be in third and manageable because your playbook just opens up. And so the key for Utah will be how meaningful, how solid are they on early downs, and how much do they force Texas Tech offensively to do things they don't necessarily want to do on third down situations.
How much confidence does either one of these teams have if things go badly early?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that. I think it's like we'll have to see, because I don't know that. I don't know. I think especially on the Utah side, even with the 3-0 lead at halftime at Wyoming, I think you could tell like there was just there was a talent level difference. So Utah was likely going to come out of that game. I don't know if they've been under pressure so much that their confidence has been questioned. And so I think that's a really good question going into this game for lots of reasons. Like, this is going to be the best test of what Utah can do offensively. This is going to be the best test of what Utah can do defensively if they can dominate a very productive offensive team. And if you get under pressure, how does this team react? I don't know that I don't know that I've seen enough out of the first three games to tell you what kind of confidence level they have under stressful, on the road, difficult situations.
Yeah, I would agree with all that. That's why it's so intriguing. That's why we're looking forward to it. Just as a player, how do you manage the emotions on this thing? Because the university with the big fox, it's going to be jacked since 8 o'clock in the morning, and and the fans are going to be lit. I don't think they're going to be drunk. I think they're just going to be lit.
That's not what you meant. when you said lit.
I know. If it was a 4 o'clock start, maybe I meant lit across the board. But no, I don't think with the 10 a.m. If you're feeling no pain at 10 a.m., you might have a little bit of a problem there. But, yeah, so I think it's going to be a natural lit. It's going to be a Provo lit. How about that?
Yeah, okay. I like that.
And how are you going to manage all that? Because you got to be under control.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you have a head coach that has a lot of experience in managing that and approaching this like a business trip and making sure that his team is aligned with what they have to accomplish, how to accomplish that, not falling into the trap of listening to all of the nonsense that's happening around them. So,
you mean the DJ and PK show? I know what you mean.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it specifically, but I'm glad you understood the reference.
Everybody was thinking it. Just say it, Frank.
I would never say nonsense. I would say that about other shows, but your show never. Your show is the epitome of what good local radio should be. Sports talk.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Your cell's breaking up, Frank.
So I like if you're a player trying to manage all of that, it's difficult and it's exciting because you want to go out and prove all of the things. I think Utah has demonstrated enough on both sides of the ball that if the players buy into the fact that I don't know that you have to do anything extraordinary, but you also can't make mistakes. What you have to do is you just do your job. Like talent level, I think it's a good matchup. I like what Utah brings offensively, and if you just are able to do your job and execute your job, I think you have to have a belief that is going to be enough to win the football game. I don't think you have to put any extra pressure on yourself by saying, I have to be extraordinary this week. I have to do things like, go above and beyond what my job is. I don't think that's the case in a game like this. I think you have to execute your job at the highest level possible. And that's enough to win a game like this.
I think that's all true. I just think that given that both these teams have a lot of transfers, so the group hasn't been in a stressful situation because they're both 3-0, both overmatched competition, both scheduled a Power 5 opponent, and then for reasons beyond Utah and Texas Tech control, that team really couldn't provide a test and got trucked basically by the Utah and Texas Tech. So if you get down by 14 points and you've been there before and you played 10 games with these guys, everyone does do your job. As opposed to now someone's like, I got to get a sack, and they get out of the rush lane, and now quarterback takes off for 20 yards, and it all starts snowballing.
Gap integrity, man. How many I've told you about that?
I was going to say it all starts snowballing like a bad round of golf.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, yeah. That. Well, there's nothing like losing confidence on a golf course. Like that will absolutely destroy your game. Or if you go into a round of golf and you don't have any confidence. So I would say, Utah has to hit a couple good shots early. And then if you shank one, then you just have to go back to, wait, I hit a couple good shots earlier. We understand how this works. And then who's going to be, who has been who's had the experience previously, and who can help level a team that might be having a confidence crisis. Like, is a Lander Barton a guy that is a Smith Snowden able to step up and say, look, this is nothing we can't manage. And on the offensive side, Dampier's been in plenty of difficult situations, and by all accounts, he is a fantastic leader. And so somebody on either side of the ball is going to have to be able to take the reins and say, this is how we get through this. This is how we manage this. But I get the point. Like, a team that's been in the battle together for 8 or 9 weeks together and has overcome difficult situations, it's much easier to manage that if you face it again. And so that's why I think it's such an interesting question about the confidence level of this team early in the season and managing difficult situations. I just don't think we know enough about the team yet to see. And so I don't know, maybe we'll get to see that on Saturday morning.
Appreciate it as always, Frank. You are the man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, by the way, were you guys at all surprised about what happened at UCLA?
Maybe that it happened that quickly, but that's where it was going.
I know I mean,
you're not competitive with New Mexico at home. That's horrific.
That was the death nail for sure.
Losing a money game is bad enough. Getting blown out in a money game, I don't know. Are they gonna win a Big Ten game, or are they gonna go win 12?
I don't know I don't know.
Northwestern,
I haven't seen enough
Maryland.
to say that they're going to win.
Yeah. Maybe, right?
But that was just a crazy.
Yeah, but we've never seen 0-12. We've never seen 2-10 at UCLA, and it seems like that's almost a foregone conclusion now.
It was an interesting hire, I thought, to begin with, and so, and nothing against Coach Foster. I think he's a very good guy, but that's a difficult situation for UCLA. UCLA with all of the resources, but still, I go back to this. I think I don't know for sure, but it feels like there's a lack of top-down from the president's seat down support for the football program. We'll see if that changes.
It's not Foster's fault that they hired a coach who hadn't been a head coach and hadn't been a coordinator. That's not his fault. That's somebody else's fault that they hired someone who hadn't been a coordinator.
That's why I say it's an interesting hire.
Yeah, right.
But there's a lot of good guys out there. I know Kalani has been floated around a little bit as a guy that could take over that program. That would be interesting.
Frank, thank you. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the game.
All right, guys. Good to talk to you. Talk to you soon.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone.